Peace. So today I wanted to begin with a line from the Bhagavad Gita. Um, and it says, one who is equal-minded in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, pleasure and pain, and who is free from attachments is truly a wise person. So we can start off, and how I interpretate that is realizing that duality and polarity exist in this current experience that we are in. It's kind of like the motto that I say, be aware but never be consumed, and realizing that all is one, all is needed, all is required. And within the mind and this experience, we had to, in order to receive information, know the difference between hot and cold, dark and light, the polarities and dualities of things, in order to comprehend and to receive information. However, you also have your higher state of consciousness that also understands that everything is one, and that we're able to use them accordingly, right? So oftentimes you'll kind of see people on this high horse of always having morality, right? Like morality is going to get me where I have to go. If I'm a good person, I'm always going to get what I want. However, if you really pay attention, the majority of the people that do horrible shit are usually the ones that have this fervent desire to want something and to desire something, right? They have this energetic, this electric, magnetic energy about them that they're able to get things like this. So for me, I'm not saying not to be a good person, obviously, but when you don't know how to balance your own scales, when you don't know how to make your light as hard as a feather, you tend to teeter-totter. You begin to weigh on one side more than the other, and not truly feel the dynamic of what it's like to be able to align yourself to a certain frequency. So just because you think you're a good person doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a good life. I mean, look at how many people out there that you know that are beautiful people, but they still have to experience the contrast of life, right? So when you have knowledge and you have understanding and you have self-awareness and you're emotional intelligent, you have more of this eye-opening aspect of yourself, where you realize that sometimes you are going to need your anger, sometimes you are going to need your love, sometimes you are going to have to take a hot bath. Get off of the counter. Sometimes you will have to take a cold bath, right? You got to take a cold plunge sometimes. But what if those dynamics weren't there for you to be able to experience one over the other? How could you truly understand what one is without experiencing the contrast of the other? So being a good person and doing the right things all the time isn't going to eliminate the experiences of your life that can be detrimental, and I'm realizing this even for myself. And so when I want to speak coming from a place of a warrior, I'm going to speak coming from a place of a warrior. If I'm going to speak on love and light, I'm going to speak from love and light. If I want to burn bridges down and step on people's necks, it's a metaphor, then that's also what I'm going to do. So, and also in my chart, I'm balanced in my masculine and feminine energy. When you pull your chart, you'll be able to see what percentage of feminine energy or masculine energy that you're in, and I've always been balanced in both. And I can see that in myself, when I need to show up in my masculine energy, I'm going to do that. When I need to show up in my feminine energy, I'm going to do that. And I'm never going to put one above the other, because it's all needed, it's all required, it's all, what's the word I'm looking for? It's all, sorry, there's somebody walking there. It's all my makeup, right? And so why would I deny all that I am and not begin to harness that energy to use it in my service and use it when I need it and use it for my requirements, and I know a lot of times we, especially those that are raised in religion, it's always your morality that makes makes you a good person, that's going to determine, you know, all of the gifts that you're going to receive from the universe or God or Jesus, whatever you believe in. And I just don't feel that like that's so. You know, energetically, I think anger itself, just using this as an example, anger itself has a very intense electric frequency to it, right? When you feel angry, you feel empowered, right? You can feel your blood boiling. That feeling is the same feeling that you want when you are wanting to align yourself to a certain frequency or reality, right? You honestly will do things quicker with that energy because it's a feeling. You have this desire behind it. However, we don't know how to feel that when it comes to us just being in this very kiltered state, right? This very calm and kiltered state. But you have to be able to transform and transmute that energy, and this is what this is all about, you know. And I was thinking about this morning, and you know how, you know, kind of going back and forth with, you know, my brother with my mom's passing. You know, he is more of the, you know, loving, compassionate, forgiveness type, and I'm the opposite. I just won't deal with motherfuckers. Like, you already showed me your cards, family, friends, whoever you are, you already showed me your cards. I just won't fuck with you. There is none of this forgiving when it comes to me, because everything is electric. Like, everything for me is energy. And if I'm constantly feeding you, you know, and I don't believe in reciprocity. I'm not to say I don't believe in reciprocity. I do believe in reciprocity. What I'm trying to say is I don't believe in matching energies, right? I'm just not one of those people who matches energies. I believe that whatever is not serving my highest self, whoever is not serving my highest self, you will just never see me again. And for some reason, we have a problem with receiving that. You know, we really have a problem with receiving that, as if your morality is going to make you feel better about yourself. If anything, it's always the opposite, because then you're sitting back wondering why people are taking advantage of you, why people only come to you when they have problems, because you haven't created those boundaries. You know what I'm saying? For yourself. And you do have to create boundaries. You have to know what you want. You have to know what's good for you. And if people aren't giving that to you, why do you still want to be in their presence? That just absolutely makes no sense to me. Over morality? No. So yeah, you know, I just think that we can't get it twisted on always feeling that being the nicer person is the way to go, because at the end of the day, all you're doing is leaking out energy to spaces that don't want it. You know, I mean, aren't we in a space of wanting to have reciprocity, to wanting to have that beautiful exchange of energy where you're feeding into me, I'm feeding into you? You know, and I feel like at this point in our lives, we have the capability to decide that for ourselves. We're not locked into anything anymore. Maybe when we had parents that told us how to live and what to do and all of that, maybe, but some of us are still locked into their voices within our minds, and we still act that way as adults. You know, so at some point we have to break through those phases of ourselves and realize that life is about death and rebirth. Life is about hot and cold, you know, and as this says, one who is equal-minded in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, pleasure and pain, and who is free from attachment. That is the key, knowing that you're using all of these things for the benefit of yourself, and you need all of these things in order to have this equilibrium within yourself, this balance within yourself, but then yet not being attached. And a lot of that is not being attached to the outcome, not being attached of how you want to see things unfold, right? Then it says, is truly a wise person. And if you guys are looking for that, it's chapter 14, verse 24. If you ever read the Bhagavad Gita, I don't mind, somewhere around here. So my thing is always be aware but never be consumed. You know what I'm saying? You always have to realize that all of these things are useful in your life, and they all exist for a reason. Why would you want to take away something that's been given to you to use? Whatever you avoid has power over you, all right? And the reason why it has power over you is because the more that you avoid it, the more that it exists. It's another frequency, right? It's everything is electric, y'all. Everything is electric. So the more that you avoid something, the more that it exists. All right? And the more that it exists, it has power over you. And so when you live more on the right side of yourself, the left side is going to be unbalanced and vice versa. So you have to find that inward aspect of you that is always like even kiltered through experiences. You don't care much about when it's going to come, how it's going to come, through who it's going to come. But you just know by the energetic work that you're doing within yourself and the awareness that you're seeking within yourself is always going to come, because that is law. All right? That is law. Whatever you focus on continuously, the universe is going to always give it to you. It honors whatever it is that you honor. Whatever you believe to be true for yourself, it will always match that for you. You're sending out signals. You're telling the universe, this is what I want. This is what I want to experience by how you're feeling, what you keep talking about, who you keep having around. And this is why it's important that if you desire something for yourself, you have to go where the energy already is. Because now you engulf in that community, that coexistence of that energy field. Sometimes, we will say, sometimes it can be difficult to do your own work on your own. That's where I prefer to be, is on my own. However, some people can't. We have to realize that for some people, they have to receive information differently, right? Not everybody receives and downloads the same information in the same way. So you have to find what's right for you. And for me, I'm one of those people, I'd rather just go and do my own thing, do my own research, and then have me be the experiment every single day by focusing and having intention with my life. Some people, however, would want to be around people for support, right? So if that's the case, then go around. If there is a reality that you desire for yourself, go to where the people already are, so then that way you can feel through this. You can get that new feeling within you. And even for me, I would still do something like that. It's just energetically, I am noticing that I am such an empath. I pick up on things so quickly, and sometimes I just don't. Yeah, I don't want to see, I don't want to know what people have going on. And when you're in a collective environment like that, for some of us that are super sensitive, it's just not always the best thing. So, but for those that, aren't there, they don't care, they love being around people, then start changing your circle, start changing and having a different verbiage, start speaking a different language, be around people that already have what it is that you're desiring and you want to experience. And then as you begin to do that, you begin to shift your reality, because now you're telling the universe, this is me, this is who I am. And a lot of that is through feeling, because everything is electric, right? So the more that you feel through these things, the more that you acknowledge these things, the more that you talk about these things, that's opposite. You're not going to be able to get rid of it. That's the thing. You cannot get rid of it because it's a program. But you can rewrite over something. All right? Is the information still there? Of course, because it's a memory. It's a program. However, you can rewrite a new narrative. You can reprogram with a new reality. You can speak a different language. You're not stuck. You're just blocked. And there's a difference. Blockages allows you to be able to recognize where you're blocked, and you're able to do the work to get unblocked. When you feel like you're stuck, sometimes you feel that there's no way to get out. So that's why vocabulary is important as well. How you perceive life is important. And so if you want a different experience for yourself, the best thing that you can do is already go where the people are. Begin to wake up talking a different language about yourself, self-talk, self-worth, your internal thoughts. Because at the end of the day, this is all you. There's nothing outside of you that is creating this reality. This is all you. So take a moment at this moment and really pause for a minute. See yourself in the middle of the cipher. All of these waves that are moving around you, right? That are invisible, but that are there. All of this electric energy that you're pushing out through your thoughts, through your energy field, through your Merkaba, through your Taurus field. All of these things, is you. So the more that you begin to recognize this, and the more that you become accountable for all of this, and you stop playing the victim of yourself and your life, and realize that certain pockets of people in your life now that you go and gossip about and complain about every time they show up or hesitate to answer the phone on, why are you still allowing their energy to exist? Because oftentimes you're people pleasing, or they're there to confirm or validate you. But as you begin to excel, and as you begin to change the vibration of yourself, everything that was once created here will have no choice but to dissipate, because there's no more familiar energy anymore. It doesn't recognize this other frequency. And so your real work isn't about eliminating anything external. It's about acknowledging where you're placing your energy, your self-talk, what you're saying to yourself. And then that in itself, when you begin to shift, will begin to also shift the external. As within, so without. As above, so below. As the earth, so the soul. It's all connected. All right? Hi, Mommy. Say hi to the fams. Look. Say hi, everybody. All right, y'all. So, yes, thank you for being present. And again, thank you for engaging. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.